This bastard to stand up, right? Come on. Okay. Uh, this this coffee morning thing seems to be really taking off. I'm delighted about this. There's people now meeting all over the place. We're getting so busy here on Saturdays, so we're going to run out of. We're going to need a bigger venue. There's others happening in Roscommon, and they're happening around the country, and they're happening in other countries. In the UK, and I think it's wonderful. I think it's great, because right now people don't need protests. They don't need marching. What they need is love and support, and to know that they're not alone in this. And tea and sympathy, to use the old expression. And a lady called Liz in England made a lovely video that her and her husband were feeling alone because they lived in a very rural village in this southwest of England, and suddenly one day they found a bunch of people in Bath, so they have like a group, a tribe a local tribe, they can have coffee with and talk about. And that's what people really need now more than anything else. They don't need protests, they don't need antagonism, they don't need trouble. They need information, of course, but they need to feel connected. And the best way to do that is for people to meet up, have tea and coffee, preferably in a place that hasn't done social distancing, or hasn't in Ireland hasn't shut down, run the apartheid thing, and just meet up and just be happy. How are you, Pauline? And that will be really good for people. That will be really healthy for people, and we're finding it very healthy. And the conversation doesn't only revolve around lockdowns and Ronas and people's lives being ruined. It drifts into things like pets and all kinds of other things. We're discovering what it is to be human again. That's what's really happening to folks. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a very beautiful thing. So if you can, I think a good way to do it is that if you want to start a coffee day, or meet up in a tea shop somewhere, it's just to put it out there on social media that I live in Cleveland, England, or Cleveland, America, or I live in Italy or France or somewhere, and I'd like to meet people who are not on the needlecraft, and want to meet up and just talk and have a coffee and make new friends and feel less alone and get a bit of love and support. Well, just do it. I think it's great. I think it's a lovely way to protest without protest. And what is the most effective protest that any of us could ever make in our lives regarding any issue? The most effective protest is the affirmation of ourselves as human beings and as individuals. And this is a great way to do it. I've had some people contact me, say, "Oh, I went, we went to a protest here and it wasn't that great. Can we go to yours?" And I said, "Look, yeah, you're welcome, but it's not a protest. It's no one gives speeches, no one stands up. It's here. It's just a casual meeting up and a bit of love and kindness and a bit of just an old-fashioned, socializing thing would be the best. Hello, how are you?"
How are you doing?
And so that's what we're doing. And the cafe's closed today. Yeah, Monday's the worst day here. Sorry. There's a few shops down open down, but mostly it closes up on Monday because it works the weekend. There's a lot of tourists around, but they're Irish. There's not a few English, but I think there's Scottish tourists as well. But not, it's Irish people. Yeah, there's lots to see and do in Ireland. And even for Irish people, it's a good country for tourism. But you can tell people desperately they'd love to go away somewhere, proper. Then anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so do that and make contact. If you're in a situation where you're disabled, or you're really isolated in a rural area, or you can't get out to something like this, maybe some of you could organise a Zoom coffee event, and you could just do something nice, like all pick a date and all go on. Like, I wouldn't have any more than 7 because it gets a bit chaotic. But say 7 people max on Zoom, and make sure, have your tea or your coffee. And if you want something, remember to give yourself a treat, like a piece of cake or whatever your favorite biscuits or pastry is. Have that too. Make it as pleasant as possible, and recapture and affirm what it is to be human again. I think it's a lovely thing, and it's good for the soul. My God, is it good for the soul? And you make new friends. It's another positive. Now, another thing is that there was a ferocious Renfielding this weekend. There was ferocious psychosis on social media, and every psychotic, every unstable individual. And I told you in the other video, it started a few weeks ago. It started last week, but they were off their boxes this weekend. There was absolute wildfire extreme psychiatric behaviour by the shields are everywhere crowd. And you could actually see the spittle coming out of their mouths as they were typing, and the sweat pouring off them, and the frantic typing, and the eyes bugging as they're on the computer. This is a very important thing to observe. This is Renfielding. This is high-end canary in a coal mine Renfielding. Now these are amplifiers, or they're reflectors on the micro level of great psychic disturbance on the macro level. Okay. Now, a few years ago, a friend and I sat down about this, and we were just talking about, like you say, to have a flare-up of the mentally ill coming after me in a smear campaign or something, or what we had this weekend. Everybody being called out was a shill, and we worked out that these psychiatric wildfires on social media, amazingly, happen 9 months before a global event. It's almost like a birth is given to a pathological baby, a black magic baby. And this is the conception. The wildfire psychiatric episode is the conception. And we have one this weekend. And so in 9 months from now, so it's August, September, October, December, January, February, March, April, May 2022. Watch out for something could happen in the world. It might happen before then, but we were astounded when we found out it was literally they'd go off 9 months before something happened, and it happened. We went right back to 9/11. Even when we discovered it, it was 9 months before 9/11. There was on whatever they had social media back then, like Usenet and stuff. There was psychotics all over. All the psychotics had a meltdown, and it's happened this weekend. So what that could be in 9 months? Well, it could be something like the end of the lockdown. It could be our freedom back. Remember, us getting our freedom back is a very traumatic concept for many people, especially the control freaks and the bureaucracy. But not only them, all the scared little ninnies who are loving this. I stumbled upon a video from an Irish radio station, mainstream crap called News Talk, and they had some guy on it saying we should really start to end the restrictions now. And most people are saying too bloody right, and end them all ASAP. And it was, mostly what we agree with. And there was this one guy there, and his profile pic looked like he was in his 40s. And he goes, "We can't end them now. Why? This would be dangerous." And I was saying, like, what kind of a man are you? So I go to a social media page, and he's got a wife and 2 kids, and he's pussy who's terrified of everything. He's literally terrified of everything, his own shadow. And half his things were posts about workplace and cyberbullying. He was totally fishing for, I'm frightened, I'm sad, yeah, I need support. And it's like, I couldn't believe his wife would let someone like that put her dick in him, But such a pussy. And that's what we have right now. We have government by pussies. By pussy. The pussy mandate is what's running government right now. I don't mean the vaginal pussy, I mean the male pussy mandate is running things right now, and governments are catering to the terrified ninnies, and the terrified ninnies are getting what they want. So that would be, to them types, the idea of this ending would be absolutely horrific, and also to the bureaucrats and the civil servants. So don't necessarily believe that because they're flared up now that in May 2022 we're going to have the end of the world. We could have something negative as well. We could have another 9/11 or something like that, or another war. Afghanistan is also a factor in this too as well. But it's usually something that's disruptive to the control system, and I would say that's possibly by May. It would be great if that was true, if that was the end of all the restrictions. We'll find out, I guess, in time. But regarding the Afghan thing too, they could also be reflectors of what's going on there. The Irish mainstream media cannot bring themselves to actually post that the Taliban won. They just can't. They can post anything else about it, but they can't actually say the Taliban won because they don't want to upset the Clinton Foundation, who runs Irish mainstream media, and so or show their failings. So now the Taliban have won, and the retributions will begin now in Afghanistan. And what you're going to have is, well, we're going to have lots of new neighbours from Afghanistan, aren't we? And a million and a half refugees will start walking through into Germany soon. And they'll be the same as last time. They'll be healthy men in their 20s with the latest iPhones and North Face jackets, escaping the horrors of the war that they're escaping. It'll be the usual thing. And you'll be called an evil man or a racist if you suggest it. And of course, it'll be, although the Americans and the British caused this, governments, of course, the people in Ireland will be saying, well, we have to do our bit to take them in. It's not their fault. No, but we weren't involved in that war. You understand? But you're wasting your... That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen next. So watch out. I'm going to put that out there right now. End of April, say mid-April to mid-May 2022, we may have something radical being given birth to in the zeitgeist. Let's hope it's something like the lockdown ends. Let's hope and all the restrictions end. Let's hope something like that. But it could be something very intense too as well. But we'll look out for that. We're mid-August now, so 9 months from now would be the end of April. Funny, right in the Walpurgis night, Beltane crossover too. Those of you clever astrologers out there, and I've quite a few of you I know, so maybe you can shed some light on this in the comments below. But in the meantime, until we have more clarity, which is something we don't have clarity at all, in regarding developing and ongoing gaslighting by the globalists, form little groups. There used to be there were groups called the Coffee House Radicals at one time. I guess we're the Coffee House Lovables. There we are, the Coffee House Lovables. That's what we'll call ourselves, the Coffee House Lovables. And get out there, find some of the members of the tribe you can have tea and coffee with. Support businesses that did not discriminate against people. If you're in Ireland, using the apartheid, or if you're in France, the digital apartheid, pass sanitaire, and make constant affirmations in regards to what it is to be a human being. Because more than anything else, the solutions are not political. They're not anything. I mean, though anything could happen. But right now, in your own personal life, there's no solution. But what there is there's respite, there's support, there's love, there's friendship, and there's even some laughs. So go out and find them and reaffirm your humanity with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in the company of good souls. Take care.